We are truly honored this morning to have a hero in this boardroom. There are many heroes in our school district, but this man can say he truly is a hero. He stepped in to literally save the life of a student during lunch. At this time, I would like to invite West Shore's Mr. Derek Hamilton and our principal of West Shore, Mr. Rick Fleming, to the podium to share with us the experience and the way that you changed a child's life.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Derek Hamilton, it's difficult to put to words how impactful he is in our school before this incident. He's a mentor, he's a coach, he's a friend, and now I think he's destined for sainthood. It was 3 weeks ago tomorrow when we were on campus at the beginning of our Power Hour lunch, and we had a student being recognized in our media center, which is the other side of campus. She was signing a full scholarship for Vanderbilt University to play lacrosse. So I was there along with another administrator and our athletic director who would normally be in the cafeteria. The walkie-talkie started going crazy. We just assumed it was something. Our SRO goes tearing out down the hallway. Come to find out that Derek, who is a very selfless individual, he is, being the coach that he is, he wanted to be part of that presentation and celebration with the student that was signing the scholarship. But being the selfless person he is, he said, you know what, my administrators are down there, the athletic director is not, I'm the only one down here in the cafeteria, so I need to kind of stay here. And it's that kind of selfless activity, and call it fate, call it anything you want. But he was there when the student began choking. Performed a very rigorous Heimlich maneuver. EMS got there several minutes later. They said the student definitely would have choked to death had he not been on the scene. And of course, when you got a cafeteria full of students, oftentimes they may be laughing, giggling at something in different crowds, and students tried to dislodge it first to no avail, and Derek took over. And so at this point, I can answer any questions I like, or you can talk to the man.
Oh. Thank you so much. Board, do you want to share any comments or thoughts? I'm sure we all have things to say about this.
Yeah, I got to talk to you really briefly right before this started, and I had asked you, often it's usually a negative thing, like you stub your toe and you tell yourself, I told myself to put my shoe on or whatever, but have you reflected on that moment of, I really wanted to go do this other thing, but I decided that I probably should stay here, I'm better to stay here, and it's just what a split decision that could have really changed the complete and utter outlook of that event. And I'm so grateful for you, but how do you feel about that, reflecting on that decision?
Well, I know the young lady that was signing. She's a great young lady, and I've talked to her for the years she's been there. She's just an outstanding lacrosse player. So to get a big time sign like an SEC school like Vanderbilt, I wanted to be there. Yeah. But I knew my administrators. I said, some people are down here. Our cafeteria can get wild on a normal day, so somebody needs to be in. I said, you know what? I'll see her later and congratulate her. I needed to go there. I needed to be there. So, in hindsight, I was blessed to be there, and I was supposed to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a mom, I just have to tell you thank you again, because reading that story this last week in our newsletter, your heart as a parent goes, what if? So I'm just so thankful for you. I know the family is, and you're not going anywhere, are you?
Well, that's the ironic thing. I was supposed to retire last September.
Oh.
And, I coached girls basketball for 10 years there, and I was torn after I retired from that, and didn't know if I wanted to stay, because that's kind of what my heart was. But, I went and sat on our bleachers one day. This guy here, who's more than a principal at our school to me, he allows me to be a mentor more than a coach. And I said, I got to hang in there with him, because he's just been so great with letting me be more than just a custodian at our school. So
I love that.
Instead of just stick it out a little longer.
I love that. Well, I absolutely love that, and I'm thankful that you at least stuck it out through April of 2024.
Mr. Susan?
Yeah, we got a little chance to talk before the meeting and stuff like that, and I just wanted to say thank you. A lot of our coaches act quickly in times of crisis, and it's something that you're just trained with, and it just happens. But then to have all of the sequence of events that occurred that day to save that child, I think there was some help from above. And I think that you, in that lane, were meant to be there. And instead of us losing a child, we have a great story to tell. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm proud of our coaches across the district who many times run into these kind of situations and are the front lines of support. And what you had mentioned there with mentorship, it goes unnoticed how much the coaches have an impact on our mentors and our children inside of our community. And you have, what I call my island, because I used to be a coach, island of misfit toys that follow me that are, I was on the phone with one last night that's 32 years old. And he was having some issues, and he was just calling me, and I was helping him through it. But I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to the human that you are for saving our people and saving our child. And I hope that you stay somehow, because it's a very strong quality that is slowly diminishing in many of our society, that mentorship program. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trent.
Well, once again, thank you for doing what you're supposed to do, right? And I'm sure you're sitting there saying, I reacted. I did what I was going to do. But you were in the exact position that you were meant to be in. And, you said you were blessed, and, this is, it was a God thing. You were exactly where you were supposed to be, and you did what you would have done at any moment. So we appreciate you. The family appreciates you. Thank you so much, and in your future, it's going to be great. Thank you.
Yeah, it took me a while to process what's going on because I just went back to normal custodial mode after everything happened. I cleaned up everything, and when they tried to send me home, I got angry. I said, I got 4 more rooms to do. What are we doing? And the adrenaline still had me kind of, I didn't want to go home. And I came back the next day. They looked at me like they didn't expect me to be there the next day. But I guess embracing the father kind of started bringing it. When he said, thank you for another day with my son, I think that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of started hitting me then. And then what means more, I loved all the thanks and recognition I was getting, but we know it's all about the kids. And when the kids would come up and give me a hug and say, Coach, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because we know it's all about them. So
Yeah.
when they would come up and be thankful, I think that really began to sink in that I did something.
You did.
What an amazing story and a legacy that you have. Moments matter, and I think, when you think about the idea of going to a signing, which is such a big deal, right? And that's so much more fun than doing cafeteria duty and working with those students. And I'm sure the human response to that would have been to maybe feel a little frustrated, right? And you're well within your right to feel, I got to be here, and this is so much more fun going on there, but you were where you were supposed to be. Yes. And if you were not there, I hate to think about what that outcome was. And so I hope that this story continues. I'm really glad that you got to meet the parents. That was one of the questions I had for you was, did you get the opportunity to talk to the parents, because you saved their child's life, and that is such a huge, huge, huge gift that you gave them. So thank you for being a hero. I'm praying you don't retire anytime soon. I know that's like Mr. Fleming is, and so we're praying that we get to have you for a few more years. But I just cannot thank you enough for going above and beyond and doing what you're supposed to do, and what maybe some other people might have been fearful to do, but you did the hard job, and you saved a life. So thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Rendell, do you want to add anything?
I was going to be impressed by the fact that he chose to stay and do lunch duty. I mean, it's a selfless act right there.
Yes.
And then, no, there's really nothing more that can be said. He is truly a hero, and made a difference in the life of that individual student, but also the other students in the cafeteria, because they saw what someone can do in an emergency situation, and probably gave them the courage to maybe act that way in the future. So thank you.
Yes. Yes, you're a hero.